So in the last video, we have discussed what is Cobweb. That is a fluctuation, right? The lag between supply and the demand. So it does not adjust, and there is also cyclical fluctuations. Now let us see what is the types of Cobweb. First is the convergent Cobweb. In convergent Cobweb, the name itself is like converge. It comes to the original point, right? So in convergent Cobweb, the fluctuations of production or supply or demand, what will happen? It gets smaller and smaller, and over time, it comes back to the equilibrium point. Right? It comes back to the equilibrium point, and it happens when supply is less elastic than demand. That means what? Our supply curve will be flatter. Supply curve will be flatter, and demand is steeper. So here our demand curve will be steeper, whereas supply curve will be flatter. So in this point, you see that the fluctuations will converge, will come back to the equilibrium point after some time, like demand, supply, again price increase. So it goes on and it comes back to the equilibrium point after some time. So that's why it is convergent Cobweb. In this case, our elasticity of demand is greater than elasticity of supply. Demand curve is flatter. Demand curve is steeper. Demand curve is steeper then, and supply curve is flatter. Demand curve is steeper and supply is flatter. Because supply is flatter, less elastic than demand, means that producer does not overreact to price change. They will gradually, slowly react to the price. Second type of Cobweb is divergent Cobweb. This is opposite to convergent. Here, fluctuation get larger and larger over time. Right? The market do not comes to the equilibrium point and becomes stable. Rather than it get unstable. It goes far and far from the equilibrium points. It happens when the supply is more elastic. Elasticity of supply is greater than elasticity of demand. It happens when the supply is more elastic than demand. Right? With the curve will be in this form. The graph will be so. This demand. Here in this case, it goes farther and farther. It goes from here. If it starts, it goes farther and farther like that. It goes farther and farther. It diverge. In this case, the supply curve is steeper. than the demand curve. Here, the supply is more elastic. So, supply curve is steeper and the producer overreacts to price change. Producer will overreact to the change in price. So, that is what is divergent Cobweb, where it goes on diverging. Another type of Cobweb is the constant Cobweb, where elasticity of demand is equal to elasticity of supply. That means the demand and supply curve is same. Right? It is same, and the fluctuations remain constant. Means it does not get converged or it does not get diverged, but it is constant. It revolves like this. Okay? It revolves around. It is constant. The fluctuation is constant. Slope of demand here is equal to slope of supply. It is also known as neutral Cobweb. So these are all about Cobweb and their types.